program. Views and claims expressed are those of the program producer and are not endorsed by this station. Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of radio station KMET, its management, employees, or affiliates.
It's time to steer the line.
Touchdown!
Sports betting, fantasy football, and the latest NFL news. Featuring Loudesmond, Christian Giordani, Rocky Giordani, and Jeremy James. Bet on us to make you a better.
What?
Let's get ready to steer the line.
Good afternoon, folks. We are 11 days away from the last football game until August. I'm your host, Christian Giordani, and Cisco analysis expert. Right next to me is Jeremy James, our fantasy football guru. Loudesmond, our professional sports handicapper, and Rocky Giordani, our ex-professional athlete. Fellas, we got 11 days to the Super Bowl. We know the matchup. It is Niners versus Chiefs. Jeremy, how do you feel about it, seeing your division rivals back in the Super Bowl?
I really
Christian, are you bad at math? Christian, are you bad at math? Because a week from today will be next Friday. And 2 days.
Did I say 11? I meant 9 days. I meant 9 days.
Okay, there we go.
It's because
Okay.
it's on the 11th.
10 days, because Friday will be 8, Saturday 9,
It's
Sunday
the
10.
second
All right,
9
you're
days.
both wrong.
All right, I suck
somewhere
at math
between
too.
somewhere between 9 and 11 days from a game. I'm probably not even going to turn on. I may for noise. I don't care. I saw this game 4 years ago. I get tired of seeing the same teams. Kansas City's in for the fourth time out of 5 years. Yeah. I don't care to watch it. I just don't. It's one of my most hated teams in my home stadium against a team that I never really cared much about anyway. So, yeah, I'm not into the Super Bowl at all. If either one of the other teams would have made it, I'd watch. But these are the last two teams I cared about.
It's going to be a great game.
It seems like Jeremy's writing the popular opinion. Rocky, how do you feel about the Super Bowl coming up?
Listen, man, these are the two. Okay, they got it right. These are the two teams that should be in the Super Bowl. This is the game we should all want to watch, right? I mean, there's no doubt about it. This is the matchup. These are the two heavyweights. I'm excited as heck about it, and I don't think Jeremy. I don't think you should worry about the Chiefs winning this one at all. It's not going to be a repeat. This is not last Super Bowl 2.0.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because
his nose. He wants to yell.
For the Niners, go ahead.
There is a storyline. There is a storyline to this game that I would enjoy. And that is Brock Purdy winning and Taylor Swift losing. That's like what I'm rooting for is Brock Purdy. Mr. Irrelevant winning a Super Bowl would be freaking awesome. If he won the Super Bowl and was the MVP, that would be such a great story. And then I'm sick of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. I can't take it.
Yeah, but Tay-Tay ain't playing, right? So
yeah.
No, but I'm so look, and my daughter's a Swiftie. God bless her. I bought her some Taylor Swift line clothes for Christmas that she was very excited about. And that's fine. Her music is okay. It's become too much of a distraction. It's become too much of a distraction.
No, it's all right, but this is a revenge game for the Niners. What I have here is 19 players on the 49ers rosters right now played in that 2020 Super Bowl against the Chiefs. It is a revenge game for most of those guys. Nick Bosa, Deebo Samuel.
Who was the quarterback of the Niners for that game?
Jimmy
Garoppolo.
G. Oh, okay. That's why they lost.
He missed that really deep pass near the in the fourth
that's
quarter,
right. The guy that
quarter.
was wide open and he missed him. Yeah.
He missed him by like 5 yards.
Rocky, what does the Super Bowl mean for both quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes and Brock Purdy?
Straight out from Mahomes, this is a legacy game. If he wins, this will be 3. He can say goodbye, Roethlisberger, both Manning brothers, and all the rest of your famous Hall of Famers that won 2. He's now 3, and he'll be chasing that ghost from New England. This is a huge game for him. This is big. This is a legacy for Patrick Mahomes. Puts him in the elite top 5 of all time. No discussion, no argument about it. For Brock Purdy, man, this is like, okay, if he loses, everybody goes, see, we told you he wasn't that good. If he wins, he's right there in the elite status of probably the youngest quarterback to win a Super Bowl, I think.
He would be right up there. He's 23 years old.
Yeah, this is
Well,
Super Bowl game.
Talking about the Super Bowl, this is a betting show after all.
Yeah.
My number one bet for this Super Bowl right now is Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown. It's minus 250, but the idea that Christian McCaffrey is not going to score a touchdown in this game is absurd. So you put $250 down, you get a free $100 back. You get your $250 back and $100. So that, to me, that's like, okay, steak dinner after the Super Bowl. Well, no, maybe you'd have to put down $450 to get $200 back. But I just can't see. Does anybody believe Christian McCaffrey will not score a touchdown in the game?
Well,
all right, there you go.
He seems like he has to.
Yeah.
But, he carried the ball like 5 times straight, got him down to the 1 yard line, and they let his backup run and punch it in the last.
That's
game.
because that guy had a bonus coming if he scored a touchdown.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I don't see how McCaffrey does not score. I think they have to run the ball, and I don't think when they're down there on the first and goal inside the 10, they're going to run it. If they're first and goal inside the 5, they're going to run it twice. I don't see how you keep them out of the end zone.
The other one, and the reason I'm talking about these now is you should get these bets down right now. The McCaffrey bet anytime touchdown started at minus 210. It's already to minus 250. And then the other one that's going to move even more is Travis Kelce over under 10 targets, and I'm over, and over under 69.5 yards receiving, and I'm over. He torched the Ravens for 11 catches for 116 yards. So if he did that to the Ravens, and I thought they had the best linebacking core and safeties that would have the best chance of slowing him down, I don't think the 49ers will be able to either. Jeremy?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at both of those guys, McCaffrey is their best weapon. They're going to do everything they can to get him the ball. And, Kelce on the other side is Mahomes' most trusted target who can actually still catch the ball most of the time. So he's going to look to get him the ball a bunch. It's, they're definitely going to be looking to those two guys. And, if you can get some prop bets in for those guys getting a certain amount of catches or scoring touchdowns, go ahead and take them now before the game gets closer and those bets are out of reach.
Rocky, what do you think?
Over and over, man. That sounds great.
Rocky, what do you think the over-under for this game is?
I don't know. I just was looking for it. I kind of been waiting for the spread to move. The 2 points went to 2.5, and I've been kind of waiting to see. It's kind of early to see what the final spread is going to be. I was actually going to wait, but why don't you tell me?
All right, it's 47.5.
Wow.
Yep.
I'm taking the over.
Yeah, Super Bowls go over. Super Bowls almost always go over. The Redskins to the under was a good bet until the Cowboys blew them up in the second half.
Yeah, historically in the last decade, there have only been a couple of games that went under 40 points. One was that really ugly Super Bowl with the Patriots where it was like 16-3. And there was another one that ended at like 21-17 or something, 21-13. But I looked at the past 10 years. Everybody remember what the total points was in the Eagles versus Chiefs last year?
It was a pretty high scoring game, wasn't it? It was
76.
76.
76 combined points.
Pretty good defenses. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, 73. It was 38-35.
And by the way, Loud, you said bet these now. I would just say, that over is going to move. It's going to move up because everything.
Yeah, it will keep. Okay, so historically, the over number moves up until the Friday before the Super Bowl, And then a lot of people think it's gone too high at that point, and they come in with a bunch of money on the under. Because I bet by next Friday when we're doing this show, that number is 50.
Gotta be. Yeah, I think 47 is low. I would say bet the over and bet it today.
Well, it already moved half a point. It was 47. Now it's 47.5. The Super Bowl started out 49ers plus 2.5. 48 hours later, it was 49ers minus 1. Now it's back to 49ers minus 2. So you see how the betting has already affected that line a couple of times. I'm sorry, we're making Jeremy's eyes glaze over, but the bottom line is there's some bets that you should be looking at grabbing now, and then others that you can possibly wait on. I'm not ready to make a bet on either side with the points. I'm leaning going 49ers money line because I do think they are the better overall team. But my problem is Patrick Mahomes is the darling of the NFL. He's the new Tom Brady, and I'm very concerned about how the officiating is going to go in that game.
With due reason.
Jeremy, as a Raiders fan, you chuckle. You know how awful the badly the penalties can go in an NFL game.
Oh no, and we've been seeing it this year here and there. I mean, if you go on Twitter after a Chiefs game, there's nothing but memes of Patrick Mahomes making out with referees and stuff like that. So yeah, we've been seeing it. It's getting some pretty favorable calls and some not being called when it comes to Kansas City. And I'm sure, we'll see some of those in the Super Bowl. There'll be a call or two that'll have fans all up in arms, and you'll have to wonder if he's getting that favoritism.
I got to ask everybody, I was trying to come up with what I thought the most egregious missed call in NFL history was.
Oh.
And I think it was that Saints game.
No!
No.
You got to back up from the right angle.
The receiver was mugged 5 minutes before the ball got there.
The ball was, if you look at it from the other angle, the other camera angle, which they quit showing because Sean Payton's such a crybaby, who was throwing the ball when he should have been running the ball, got covered with his hands down. We didn't change the rule that don't look over here that I was running.
Oh, he hit the receiver.
The ball was over the guy's head. The ball was already past him.
The ball got there.
Dude, if you look at it from the other camera angle, the ball was already past him. It was over his head.
It might have been 2 weeks. It was early.
It doesn't matter. They still would have lost to the Patriots in that game anyways if it was the Saints.
Not the most egregious by far.
All right, Jeremy, the most egregious missed bad call in NFL history.
I got one.
You're really going to ask a Raider fan?
Yeah. I'll agree with you on this one. It's the tuck rule. It's the tuck rule.
It's the tuck rule. The tuck rule changed the face of the NFL as we know it. If the tuck rule doesn't happen, Patriots don't win that first Super Bowl. The Raiders go on to win a Super Bowl. They don't just fall apart after such a horrible loss, a year later. And that dynasty never happens. And we're not comparing Patrick Mahomes to Brady. But
Rich Gannon deserved they would have won that Super Bowl. You're right. The Raiders would have won that Super Bowl if they had gone. They'd won it much more handily than the Patriots did. They squeaking by with a last-minute field goal. That Rich Gannon got robbed of his legacy game. You're right, man. That's the worst ever.
That is the worst call of all time.
There was one when Von Miller hit a guy in the end zone, cheap shot, knocked him out of the game. The guy was out for 3 weeks, and Von Miller got 15 yards. You know what I mean? So it was really worth it because the playoffs came up and the guy was out for the whole playoffs.
Well, it's like when Saragusa purposely fell on Rich Gannon.
Yeah.
The belly flop.
Yeah. Purposely fell on him and hurt him. And that was the end of the Raiders' chance of winning that game.
Yep.
I mean, as John Madden said,
that pretty pat crappy Saints game, that wasn't it.
No
way.
No. By the way, I am very excited as a Saints fan to see how well Gary Kubiak is going to do with the Saints offense. As everybody knows, Gary Kubiak is now going to be taking over after the Super Bowl as the offensive coordinator for the Saints. The Saints have a lot of versatile weapons like the 49ers. Alvin Kamara can do a lot of different things. They've got a great new fast running back. They have
the quarterback.
Oh, they have a great quarterback. Derek Carr.
Jameis Winston.
Jameis.
Derek Carr
W
in the NFL. I'm just excited to see what he can do with a real offensive coordinator who's got his back and knows how to use the weapons on the Saints team. Speaking of the Rams, what's up with your defensive coordinator? He's gone, right?
Yeah, Raheem Morris is out coaching in Atlanta. Congratulations to
great
him.
hire. Great hire. He's gonna do a great job there. Wish him all the best, man. What a great guy, you know. Let's talk about the stink it up hire of the.
But good on the Rams for hiring from within. They promoted their linebackers coach to their new defensive coordinator, a guy who's been there for a number of years now, learning, and he gets a chance. So I like to see when teams do that, when they bring guys from within.
Yeah, and
right,
he's done a great job
Let me ask this: of all the new coaching hires, and by the way, one of the big ones, Dan Quinn, defensive coordinator, Cowboys, overrated. Will be the head coach of the Command. Did you see how bad his defensive game plan was in that last game?
Listen, the Cowboys might win that division. The Commanders might win that division. The Giants, everybody messed up. The coaching hires in that NFC.
Well, let's go through it, Rocky. Let's go through it. Explain to me why. Because I agree with you. It's a total clown show in that division right now.
Upwards. In that division, you fail upwards. They went and got Kellen Moore, the failed coach of the Chargers. Is now goes to the Eagles.
Rocky, who got Kellen Moore?
The Eagles. He's their new coordinator, new defensive coordinator.
Offensive coordinator.
Sorry. Yeah, talk about stinky hires. And everybody in that division has made a dumb move already. Dan Quinn fails upwards. Kellen Moore fails upwards. They're just sticking up the division. Go for it. I hate that division. I hate it. I hate them all. Let them all screw it up. That's the worst division in football.
Yeah, NFC.
Yeah, they all go 500. Rocky, how do you really feel? Yeah, I know.
Don't go back, dude.
Loud. How does this happen? How do you go get a guy from a failure who crapped the bed and hire him as your new coordinator or assistant coach? How does that work?
Because you have all the same thinking as a government agency.
Yeah.
Stop for a second. I have made proposals to numerous government agencies about their public relations programs, which we were a small, nimble firm, top of our game, and inevitably they would hire the bigger, more expensive firm from Los Angeles or Orange County. Why? Because guess what? If you make that hire, it's safe. Even if they fail in their job, you get to say, well, I hired the company that had the biggest brand name and the most experience. That's when franchises go safe, that's what happens. They're trying to make the safe choice.
The problem with this, good analogy, the problem with this in coaching in the NFL, you have a loser. You lost terribly. The Eagles were one of the biggest meltdowns after a Super Bowl loss that I've ever seen after the Rams, right? Besides the Rams. They were just bad. So what they do now, they're going to take all these great defensive players that they've got, bring in a new coach. What does he do? Does he use the old defensive coordinator system? And it's the same crap, different guy? Or do they now they have to learn a whole new system? See what I mean? These guys, this makes no sense to me at all.
All right, so let's go through the coaching hires and grade them. Number
Antonio Pierce.
On my list, I think Antonio Pierce was the best hire of the year.
No doubt.
Keeping him was a great move by the Raiders. They didn't outthink themselves. All Mark Davis did finally was look at the results on the field and go, boy, this team sucked and was a total dumpster fire. with the guy I chose. And then when a real leader of men who played the game and has respect to players came in, Jeremy, you finish this.
What's that? I'm trying to. I mean,
I'm doing your talking point.
No, that's fine. He stepped in. He was a leader of men. He got that team playing well, and I agree. They made the right choice by keeping him, and now they've also made some great hires with the guys they're putting around him and some of his assistant coaches. They brought in Cliff Kingsbury.
Great move.
Former coach for the Cardinals is now the offensive coordinator there, which makes me think they're definitely going to be looking for a new quarterback. Not some old rehash guy. They're going to find someone young. I like the other moves they've made. They brought in Marvin Lewis as a assistant head coach to help, bring Antonio Pierce along, with some of the X's and O's and rules of the game. And then some of the position coaches, they just brought in Deshaun Foster as the running backs coach, former running back. And also they brought in someone to be Andre Carter, former player, now pass rush specialist. They're bringing in a lot of smart guys, talented guys, and people who can help Antonio Pierce make that transition from just a great leader to a good head football coach. I'm excited.
All right.
Question. Wait, one more quick question.
Hang on. We're all agreed that's the best. What is the worst coaching decision, Christian?
Dan Quinn.
No doubt.
Dan Quinn.
I would say Mike McCarthy staying.
Yeah, staying. Dallas. Yeah, okay. Yeah, fix the one half dozen.
I guess.
Right. Yeah, he's not a high.
Because with Mike McCarthy staying, Dan Quinn moves on. McCarthy's on a 1-year contract. What kind of freaking coaches or players can they bring in when the head coach is on a 1-year contract and everybody knows if he doesn't win the freaking Super Bowl, he's fired?
Yep. They have to learn a whole new system, by the way. Now they have to learn a whole new system. But Jeremy, really quickly, what's the difference between the Raiders hiring this year and what it's been over the last, say, 5 years? What is the difference? Why are they doing so well now when they did so poorly in the last decade as far as coaching hires? What's the one?
I think Mark Davis was kind of doing what we're seeing the Commanders doing. He was going for safe names he recognized and felt would be okay to bring in, and he had to take a swing.
Right,
and Antonio Pierce is a good swing.
What's the one mitigating factor that's different this year? The one thing.
The players told him to keep the coach.
Ownership. I'm telling you, man. Tom Brady being a part owner of this team, they're going to only go upwards. They're only going to do better and better.
Oh, my God. Are you kidding?
I'm telling you, man.
He's a winner. He's a winner.
Dude, spend some money. He's in Davis's ears telling him to spend some money. He's a great...
Loud, you're not a Raiders fan. You can't have an opinion anymore on this.
Okay. I am a Raiders fan. I love the Raiders. I walked on for the Raiders. I love the Raiders. There's not my favorite team.
I'm not ready to hand over. I'm not ready to quite hand over a bunch of credit to Brady yet. I don't know what kind of influence or impact he has there. I just think that Mark Davis saw what was on the field, heard the fans and the rest of the NFL saying, you've got to give this guy a shot. And he finally made a unsafe choice. That's the Cowboys were safe. They were afraid to move on from the guy they had. Washington was safe by, they felt like they lost out on all the other good young guys. So, let's take this guy and rehash him. So,
yeah, they also brought in a bunch of other really good talent. They made a bunch of great decisions, very un-Raider-like, very un-Davis-like.
You can tell the Raiders are happy when Antonio Pierce. Devontae Adams was 5 minutes away from walking out the door and demanding a trade from the Raiders. And the second Antonio Pierce got that head coaching job or intermediate head coaching job, he was dancing in the locker room, smoking cigars with Max Crosby and the rest of the team. The players wanted him. The fans wanted him. Mark Davis wants him now, and he's going to be there for a long time, I think.
We hope so.
Another team that I think has made a fantastic hire, and they didn't hire the coach that I wanted, but I still think it's a great hire, is the Seattle Seahawks hiring the Ravens defensive coordinator as their head coach. They get Mike McDonald.
Mike McDonald.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that is a really good hire for Seattle.
Yeah, he's one of those nice young coaches that got a look and got a hire. I have no problem with what Carolina did, bringing in Dave Canales as well. Gerard Mayo, another former player, getting to step up into the head job with the Patriots, I thought was really good too. I think most of the teams made good hires. Raheem Morris in Atlanta was a fantastic hire.
Yep.
Love
it.
I just, the couple I question are, I mean, I know Jim Harbaugh's a great coach, but we'll see what he does in San Diego, or he was a great coach at one time. We know how we feel about
San Diego will always find a way to screw it up.
Yeah.
That's just who
They
they
hired
are.
Harbaugh. They just hired Harbaugh. They already screwed it up. So how about the best non-hire?
Yeah.
The best non-hire?
Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick, yeah. The
Give me
quote
Washington
unquote
Hey,
greatest
the
coach
worst-
of all time.
The worst,
1 minute.
Mike Vrabel should be a head coach somewhere in the NFL.
Well,
Why people didn't?
when the
Next year.
Cowboys don't win the Super Bowl this year, say hello to new Cowboys coach Mike Vrabel next year.
There you go.
That's
Yeah.
what I predict.
Yeah, I like it.
Probably.
Yep. Along with the new quarterback, Dak Prescott's out of there. They don't win another year.
All right,
everyone.
tune in next Friday night on Steer the Line. We will give you our Super Bowl picks
Yes. Next
and
Friday.
help you
Good
make
week.
some ducats. Yep.
Yes, we will see you guys next week where we will be 2 days away from the Super Bowl.